We've all been gifted the journey of life, but what defines it is our ability to grow, remain carefree, and internally loving despite the perceived obstacles. Are you living fully despite the tears and adversity you've experienced thus far? This is the question I've asked myself after watching The Color Purples, the 1985 version directed by Steven Spielberg, and the 2023 version directed by Blitz Bazawule. Well, friend, I am Fox Indigo, and you are listening to Fox on Flix with Friends. What I like to do is to watch and review different movies across the global diaspora and have casual conversations about what I've watched and how it relates to today's society. So while you're here with me, friend, before I take a quick break so we can just thank our sponsor for today's episode, I'm asking you to share this episode and share this podcast with 2 friends or more. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify as well. And yeah, since we're friends, go ahead and do that. And we're going to have a short break. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Yahhila. I am the CEO and founder of Shining Star Yoga and Wellness. We are located in Jamaica, Queens, New York. The services that we offer are yoga, foot detox, massage therapy, Reiki, which is also known as energy healing, CPR and first aid training, plus more. You can call us to schedule an appointment at 516-643-4286. We care about your well-being and look forward to hearing from you.
Greetings, friends. This is Fox Indigo, and again, you are listening to Fox on Flix with Friends. I am here with a new guest today, and this format is a little bit different because we've watched 2 films, and we're comparing the 2, and that movie is The Color Purple. So again, if you can share this podcast with 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 friends who are looking to expand their repertoire, explore with me different films and movies across the Black diaspora. And if you do have any suggestions, please share those with me as well. Don't forget to listen to my last podcast. I watched the Book of Clarence. You can find that on Prime. And I reviewed that. I had 2 guests for that podcast. So let's just jump into the review. So I am here, like I said, with a new guest to the podcast, and we watched The Color Purples. You can find both of them on the HBO platform, which is now called Max. They're both available for free. And my guest here, her name is Yahhila, and she is the founder of Shining Star Yoga and Wellness. So go right ahead, say hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm really trying to do my best this year to stay consistent with watching different podcasts. Watching different shows, different movies, and just bringing on different guests to have different perspectives. So I'm expanding and growing in this process too.
You just got to keep going. That's all.
Right. Just remain consistent. So the question that I had asked, I opened up the podcast with was, despite the obstacles that one may perceive that they're having throughout life. You know, can you continue to grow and expand as an individual? We did watch, again, The Color Purple, the 1985 version, which I love so much. And then the 2023 version, directed by Blitz. I'm just going to leave it there. He's from Guyana. And so, yeah, I would guess I would pose that question to you, just as someone who has perceived obstacles in your life. Have you remained like carefree, loving? Do you think anyone who like experienced what Celie, the main character, has experienced? Oh, and just to give like background, if anyone who's never seen The Color Purple, it is a film adaptation written by Alice Walker. It's about a woman living in the South and basically just like her life growing up from basically childhood to womanhood and the trauma that she experienced and the characters around her as well.
Mm-hmm. To answer that question, actually repeat that question one more time.
Despite the obstacles that you've perceived or, you've experienced, have you remained like carefree, loving, growing? Do you think like that is the key to, a successful life?
I think it is, because we all do go through different challenges and different obstacles, but we have to find a way to stay positive. And with staying positive, for me anyway, it helps my drive better. It keeps my head clear. My mindset is different. I find that for myself, I'm speaking, if something's happening or things aren't going my way and I let that affect my mood, affect how I react to people, it is, I don't get anything positive after that, from that. So it is a challenge to stay positive during different challenges, during the downfalls or the down days or the days that aren't going your way.
Right.
But it also, just trying to stay positive, trying to stay loving, it makes a difference. It makes a difference in your own self, your own happiness, your own heart.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think despite the challenges that I've also had in my life, I think there's a greater quality of life, like when you do remain still open and loving and receptive to other people as well.
Yes.
I've even found like people that you may not care for, I've still maybe just as I'm getting older, I still find that you can have like experiences that expand you, even with like those people that you find challenging.
Yes. Yeah.
I just think that's part of the journey. And so to be honest, The Color Purple is probably one of my favorite movies. I saw this movie originally, I think I was probably like 9 or 10 years old. So I was really, really young. And it always like stood out to me. I've never read the book. I've never ever read the book. I know it was something that we had discussed before, like was read in school. I just so happened to not be in one of those classes that never read that book, and I never purchased it myself. But now watching these two movies, I want to read the book because now I'm curious to know if what I saw in the second movie was something that was in the first book. First movie and wasn't expanded upon. Was originally in the book, but was never expanded upon in the first movie. Because I'm not going to lie, I've watched this movie, the second one. I love the first movie. To me,
yeah, there were a lot of different changes in the second movie. If you're comparing it to the second. Of course, the script is pretty similar, but some of the scenes were just a lot different, rearranged, different scenery. So that, I like the first one too, but there are parts of the second that I appreciate.
Okay.
Let's see, which part would that be? I like the way they when Celie opened her store, it was a little bit more seeing her in the store. And the husband, I can't remember his name now.
Oh, Mr.
Mr. Yes, how can I forget that? Mr. came in to actually shop, and you saw that he was being nice.
Right.
And he even told her that she's beautiful.
Right.
It's like one of those things. When what it came to my mind when I saw that scene is like, oh, you don't know what you're missing until it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, let's start with the positive things. While we're watching, like, I was writing down some notes, just like the different things that I took from each, and especially now watching the original now, so it's like very fresh in my mind. See, what I liked about the first one was that I felt that the acting, there were like subtle things that were happening in the movies that the characters would do, and what was happening around in the scene that allowed me, I feel like, to connect so much deeper with the characters that I felt was missing from the second one. So, like, for instance, Whoopi Goldberg, who plays Celie in the original, when she would always cover her mouth. Like, throughout the entire movie, she was always like covering her smile. You always saw that she was afraid of Mr. She was always very like apprehensive, which I didn't really get from the second one. Like, yeah, they showed like Mr. hit her, Celie, who was played by Fantasia. But so yeah, they showed that, but I didn't feel afraid of Mr. the way I did in the first one. I also liked about the first one, but the second one too, the cinematography was beautiful in both of them. I feel like with the first one, it felt it felt like more authentic. I felt like I was in the South. I felt like I was there. Like, I could smell the farm. Like, I could smell like the sweat of the people, the animals. Like, I felt there. But the second one to me was very beautiful. Like, the colors were really rich.
Yes. The colors were very vibrant.
Yeah. So I did like that about the second one. And then again, what I also liked about the first one for me was just all emotional. You just watching it over from like the very, very beginning, when you see like the type of life like Celie had from the very, very beginning. It's almost like it was stated like there's no hope for her, like being a 14-year-old who's like raped by your father, and you're pregnant by your father, who treats you like garbage, and the only person that loves you is your little sister. But okay, you know what I did like what they did with the second one, and this is why I want to read the book. When they just gave that little glimpse of Celie learning how to sew with her mom.
Yes. So that shows where she got it from.
Yeah, right. Because that was such a big part of the first one and the second one, that she was like this excellent seamstress and like made the clothes. And they never delved into like, where did she learn that from? Like how, yeah. So I liked that. But I also liked about the first one that I thought the second one was missing was, I felt that there's trauma between both the men and the women. They were experiencing trauma. Because believe it or not, when I watched the first version and I'm older and I'm watching Mr. was a traumatized. He was a man in pain.
Yes. Because he had his dad dictating everything that he did as well. Right, and belittled him. He didn't marry the woman that he wanted to marry. And then even there's like a part where Suge says in the first one, like, he's weak. He's a weak man. I don't want to be with a weak man. So that stuck out to me, which I feel like was missing in the second one.
I don't feel like you really got to understand that the men too were also experiencing trauma. Like even with Harpo loving a strong woman and not knowing how to navigate that relationship. That's what I saw, and I felt like that was completely missing from the second one. Okay, I'm going to be quiet.
It's okay. It's okay. But then again, that comes from, I guess, not seeing his mom in the household. I'm not sure, they didn't really say what happened to his mom, to Harper's mom and his siblings. All we know is
in the first one, she died. Yeah.
So we don't know what age they were, so that they didn't see the dad loving on someone. So he's like, I have this strong woman, but how do I navigate with her? I'm not sure. Do I love her more? Do I be rough? She's not listening to me.
Right.
Like what to do?
She's leading. I'm in a society where men are supposed to lead. But yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm looking at like, what did I really like about the second one? Okay, so I love musicals. So actually, when I was like, oh, it's a musical, I'm gonna be into it. I'll watch it. And so I did like the songs. Well, some of them dragged a little bit. I could have maybe done without maybe 3 or 4 of the songs, but I thought the vocals and the songs were really nice. Actually,
they were nice. They were nice. They kind of flowed with the scenes and kind of opened up a little bit more, giving me anyway more of a visual of what the 1985 version didn't have.
Right.
I'm trying to remember a scene, but the closeness when Celie and Suge were dancing and singing together. Okay. That shows the closeness, the sisterhood that they've built. And that's another thing I like too, how they show the sisterhood of the women that played in there, from Celie and I'm so bad with names.
Don't worry, I am too. You're talking about
Harpo's wife when she went to jail.
Oh my God! I don't know why her name is escaping me too. Oh, Sophia.
They showed when Celie went to see her in jail, when she was in jail every week, and that really showed the bond that even though they didn't really show a bond, but that showed a bond that I'm coming to see you every week and I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna try and get you out. I liked the first one. Celie went to the store and helped Harpo's wife, Sophia, shop because she couldn't see
because of her eye. I don't know. See, I'm a little mixed with that. The sisterhood, definitely there. I don't know how I feel about how they portrayed it in the second one. See, that scene for me, what they were dancing, it was a little I don't care that they were dancing. I don't know. Because it seemed more sexual to me. And for me, the kiss in the first one was more of a kiss of friendship. Because for me, I felt like this is a young lady who is down on herself, has never felt beautiful. People treat her like trash. And then here you have Suge Avery, who is supposed to be the vixen of the story, the beautiful one, the one that all the men desire. And she becomes intertwined with her counterpart. And for me, the kiss meant you're beautiful too. You're just as beautiful as I am. You're just as valuable as I am. And I actually really love you. And for me, it wasn't a sexual thing. It was more of I love you. And I know you've never felt this. So I want to give you a kiss to show you how beautiful that you really are. And I feel that's what was missing for me. In the second one, to me, yes, the scenes were there to show there's a connection but still for me, the first one it was more of an emotional connection for me. And I actually, when I watched the first one, it made me think about like a best friend that I had that I grew up with for many, many years. And it just like, that's the connection that I felt like, that sisterly, and even that too, I felt was missing from the second one. The real closeness.
The closeness.
You know, her sister was always there for her. Was her support, taught her.
Yes.
Didn't want her to be left behind.
Out. She would go to school, come back. This is Africa.
Right.
This is how you spell it.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't going to school. Because she wasn't allowed to go. She was they made her stay home and help with the children, help with the chores in the store, clean, do this.
Right.
It's almost like a privilege to go to school.
And that's another thing that you got to see, like what it was like in the South in the early 1900s. Like you said, it was a privilege. Like, and here you have two sisters from the same household, and one has been given the advantage while the other one is kind of like stuck in the old ways.
Right.
And has no choice. One, she's a woman, and then she's a black woman.
And black woman.
And in the South.
And not just a black woman, a dark-skinned woman.
And
it just shows them how we play on our own and stereotype our own people. It's like we're all black and brown people. We all come in different shades. So why is this person, because she's of a different tone, made to feel less?
So now that you brought that up, that's also something that I picked up with the second one. So my question is, in the Blitz version, is he playing up more stereotypes? And I'm really just thinking off of this off the top of my head, because in the first one, both sisters are dark skinned. Both of them, both Celie and her sister, are dark skinned girls. And one is considered beautiful and the other one is considered ugly. But in the new version, you have the one that's considered beautiful, light, and the one that's not considered beautiful, dark. So is he playing into more of the stereotype than the first one? I mean, that's something that stuck out to me right away. I was like, wait, why is she? I'm like, she's not light in the original one. I'm like, she's dark skinned.
Really? I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, she's dark skinned. And her and her sister are both dark skinned girls.
Wow.
And so I don't know, I'm feeling like is that for me even make it even a stronger story as well. Because the only one that's light skinned in the first version is Suge Avery, and Harpo's second or girlfriend or whoever she is, that she gets punched, who ends up leaving with them and the end as well. Yeah, the colorism, the whole idea of colorism, what part does that play in storytelling? And how does that, really change the story as well? And I felt like in the second one, lines were just being said. So they were saying, like there were key lines, like everything that you've done to me is already been done to you. Even Sophia's line, like, all my life I've had to fight. But I don't know. I just didn't feel the connection. I didn't feel the connection, even though it was a beautiful story. Like we said, like the cinematography was done really well. The vocals were there. The songs were there. But I just didn't. It felt so rushed to me.
Do you feel like they tried too hard to make it too different?
Maybe. And I don't know how I really feel about it being a musical. I mean, okay, so for like everyone who's listening, so we just finished watching the second version. So I'm still trying to figure out fully how I feel about it. Because like I said, I do love musicals and I love The Color Purple. And maybe also I felt like there might have been some disconnection for me with some of the songs or some of the scenes. Like, okay, here's something in the second one that it did not work for me. It didn't compute. when Nettie, when Nettie was walking to school and Mr. comes out of nowhere and he's like singing to her, and she seems flattered by it. To me, it didn't make sense for the character who she is to kind of, it was like she was playing around with it, like she was like smiling and like kind of going along with it, and I'm like, that doesn't fit the character. Like, this is supposed to be a character who's still supposed to be remaining innocent. And Mr's a creep.
Right. Yes. They made her seem too friendly.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, no, he's a creepy guy. He's an older man. Because think about it. Celia's supposed to be 14 and that's her little sister. So what is she, like 11, 12? You know, like, no, that's scary. I'm like, even when I think about being 12-year-old, I'm not going to think, even if a 20-year-old, even if like an older teen,
right, to flirt back. That's, yeah. That's
fucking weird. So, yeah, that to me was like, yeah, I don't know. And the pastor in the second one, played by David Alan Grier, who is a known comedian. And to be honest with you, I couldn't take him seriously as a pastor just because, one, I know he's a comedian, and you've watched Martin before?
Yes.
Okay, you know, like he was the reoccurring pastor.
Yes.
And so when I saw him as the pastor, I automatically saw him as the pastor in Martin, and I just couldn't
get past that.
Couldn't get past it, right. I was just like waiting for him to like ask for money. And like, I was like, who? I was like, somebody in the casting room did this as a joke, was like, you know, it would be really good.
Let's get him in here.
Yeah.
But being that you said that, for the second part where Shug went to the church and she was sitting with him in the piano, it's like, okay, how'd she get there? Did she walk there? Like, how did she get there?
Because in the first one, there's that transition where she comes to this realization.
We see how it happened, how she got there and embraced them and things like that.
And
but the second one is
so
just like
emotional.
The scene, just is like this. It's just the scene switch, and they're in the church playing the piano,
and all of a sudden they're connected and bonded.
How'd you get there?
Right. Yeah.
So there were like little pieces in the movie. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like they were just, I liked in the second one how they made more room to see, like you were saying, what her life was after she left Mr. But then I also felt like there were like filler scenes. They were like, okay, this is what happened in the original one, so this is what people are familiar with. We're just going to take like a piece of it, make sure that it's in there, make sure that these lines are said. But like you said, it's like, where's the connection? Because that's what made the first one so powerful. You know, yeah. And again, like it being fresh in my mind, right, and thinking about how she was singing and then she heard what was going on in the church, and she just,
and they made their way down. Right.
And then you see that connection between that he couldn't no longer deny his daughter.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, see, I'm thinking about him and getting all emotional. I'm like, yeah, that's what I just think was missing from the second one. I think the connection between men and women and father and daughter was missing. I liked the second one when they showed Mr. reaping what he sowed.
Yes.
That I did.
The bees and the crops.
Yeah. I like that, to see like, okay, this is what turned him, even though they did touch on that in the first one, that he had like remorse and everything. But
I like that in the second one, they actually showed him saying, I'm going to sell some property so he can help bring Celia's family from Africa.
Right. Yeah.
In the original, we saw the envelope. If you blinked, you would have missed it. We saw the mail come in from it said international, from, I forget where it was from, but it was something from passport,
right?
International affairs, maybe something like that. And you saw him going to get some money out of his stash and then going to the office.
Yes.
You don't hear the words. You just see a little transaction happening.
Yeah, you insinuate through everything. Mm-hmm.
Celie's family comes in.
Right. And you know that Mr. was behind it.
Yeah,
and that's what was missing, I think, from the second one, more of redemption. Because that was in the first one, too. Like the whole redemption, Mr. coming to, you know, terms with how he played into everything, you know, Suge finding a reconnection with her roots, where she comes from, Celie, you know, being the main character, finding like real transformation and strength in her character. Sophia, I liked that Sophia, I don't know. I feel like, honestly, Sophia's story is just as sad as Celie's.
Yes.
And that she was in such bondage. Like, and I like that they didn't touch too much with the racial, but it was enough to understand, like, when she was saying, like, she had to fight basically all the males in her family, you know, to keep from having the same fate as Celie.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then how her strength in that time also became a physical bondage, where now she had to, one, be in prison for how long, and then to come out and basically be in servitude to the person that put you there.
Mm-hmm.
But even her finding that redemption at that dinner table, I don't know if it was like a holiday or whatever dinner that they were having, when she starts laughing, you know, like, because we see like this person get knocked down, like really knocked down, and then it just took Celie saying this one, Celie having strength in that moment for her.
To pull her strength.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot in, there's a lot of little nuances. Like I said, The Color Purple, one of my favorite movies, but now I have to read the book.
I feel like I kind of like both, because definitely love the original, because the original is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I also like the second one, because there's pieces that were, I'm not going to say missing, but not understood in the second one, in the first one. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So the second one does open up few little layers to bring that understanding out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, new thing I'm doing now. I'm doing a quote unquote Fox rating. So we're gonna rate the movie just to help the audience, I guess, get an idea whether you want to watch it or not. So for me, I would say for the first one, the Steven Spielberg is my favorite. I feel like it's a watchable movie, that you can watch it more than once. I don't feel like it's too traumatic, that, you know, it's a one-time watch. And if you're into being emotional, if you're emotional like me, then watch it. So I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give the first one an 8.5. And now that we've talked about the second version, I had wrote down a 3.5.
Oh.
Yeah. But now that we've actually talked about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 5.5. What I said an 8.5 for the first one and a 5.5. Okay, so what rating would you watch it again? Because I don't know if I watch the second one again. Maybe for some of the songs, because I really like the Suge Avery. I would definitely watch both of them again, and probably in the way I watched them. I mean, I know I watched one last night, watched one a little while ago. I would definitely want to watch them again, like in the same format, maybe like back to back one time. Mm-hmm. With comparison, I'll give the 1985 version, I would say a 9.5, because there were emotional parts in there, especially the last, at the ending, where Celie's family came and the children
they weren't speaking English.
Yeah,
they
like
were speaking African,
yes.
whatever language they picked up while living in Africa. And it's like the language barrier just kind of, I don't know, for some reason it just hit a spot in my heart, and I just like started tearing. It's like, these are kids, and right now in this moment they can't understand you. You can't understand their words, but the emotion is still the same. That they miss her, they love her, and she missed them and loved them.
Yeah. That I was gonna say in the second one, that's the only part where I teared up. The entire second was at the end.
At the end. But this one, the second one, they were speaking English.
Yeah.
So that was the difference from that. So the second one, I would give this. I say 8.
8.
I give it 8.
All right. So we have. All right. So I gave it an 8.5. And for the first version, the second one, I did. Okay, I'll give it a 5.8. I don't know. People they give 5.8. 5.8. Okay. All right. So that's like, we have 14. Doing math for a rating. And so you gave the first version a 9.5 and the second one an 8. And that's for a 17.5. And so let's see, the overall Fox rating. How does that even work? Oh, I think I did this completely wrong. This is why I'm not a mathematician. Okay, so the first version has an overall Fox rating of 9. That's what we have the first one. And then for the second one, the overall rating, okay, it's a 6.9. So we'll round it up to 7. All right, so I mean, that's not that's not bad.
No,
that's not bad. So that means you could watch it twice.
Yeah.
You could watch both of them twice. So, all right. So the color purple, the 1985 Steven Spielberg version, it has a Fox rating of 9, and the second version, 2023, directed by Blitz Bazawule. I'm sorry, I apologize. Has an overall rating of 7, and yeah, I guess we both enjoyed it. We both enjoyed both of them, and it's not as bad. The second one isn't as bad as like what I was hearing, like people walking out of the theater and everything, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to.
Maybe some people are not into the musicals.
That might be what it is. Yeah, a lot of people don't like musicals, and I do enjoy them. I love the dancing. And I think music is a great way to tell a story. Again, like, I don't know if the color purple is the best choice just because of the subject matter, but I guess, they made it work. All right, so we have made it to the end. I want to thank the audience for being with us for this long. So let me start giving shout outs again to my audience. Surprisingly, I have a large international listening in Germany, so I have to say hello to all my German friends. So whoever is listening in Germany, I would really appreciate it if you could share this podcast with like 5 of your friends. And don't forget to follow on Spotify. Hello to India as well. I don't know Hindi, is that what you speak? I don't know any, but again, whoever is listening in India, I really do appreciate it. Please share this with like 5 of your friends as well. And to my South Korea listeners, awesome. I appreciate that as well. So go ahead, share this podcast. Don't forget to follow on Spotify. And continue to join me. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any movie recommendations, also just remember that they are movies from the Black diaspora. I could care less what country they come from. I don't care what language that it's in. Just remember that it just has to be a story that I would prefer to be written and directed by someone from the Black diaspora whose main characters and storyline deals with that as well. So don't forget to, again, join the Fox Den by subscribing to the Fox on Flix with Friends. You can find it on Spotify, and you can also find it on Apple as well. Thank you, friend, and thank you, Yahhila, for being here, being my guest. And I hope that we could do another movie review as well. Maybe like that could be our thing. Like we could find like 2 different movies, or like, you know, the new version and the old version.
Yeah.
We could do that and do like a comparison, because I never did that before. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, this was definitely cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I appreciate it. You giving me your time as well. So to all my friends out there and family, love, kisses, and hugs. I don't know what I'm going to be reviewing next, but that's a wrap.